What's up, y'all? Welcome back to ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah. And I'm here to give y'all my week 5 college football picks. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, man. How's everyone doing? And good morning to everyone. All right, y'all. So first up, we have number 20 Oklahoma State going on the road to take on number 23 Kansas State. And y'all, both of these teams are coming off disappointing losses last week. I mean, Kansas State, they got absolutely demolished at BYU in a game where they can never get anything going offensively. They did run for 230 yards in that game, but a lot of those yards came in garbage time, y'all. And then for Oklahoma State, they had a somewhat winnable game last week. I feel like against Utah, because their defense played really well, but they weren't unable to generate things offensively. I mean, their starter quarterback, Alan Bowman, he got benched, y'all. So both of these teams, again, coming off disappointing losses, they would love to bounce back. And y'all, I have Kansas State winning this game at home, 29-23. I just trust Kansas State a little bit more. Their quarterback, Avery Johnson, man, he's going to have to make smart decisions because Oklahoma State secondary is not horrible, right? It's not great, but I'll say they have an above average secondary. And they will be able to, pick him off and force him to make bad reads if he chooses to do so, y'all. So he's going to have to be very careful with the football. But I love their running back, DJ Giddens. Excuse me. I think he has a huge game today on the ground, y'all. Oklahoma State did give up over 250 rushing yards last week against Utah. And I just trust Kansas State. They're at home. I think they have the better offensive line, better defensive line. So I like them to win this game. All right, y'all. Next up, we have Maryland going on the road to take on Indiana. Y'all, Indiana's off to a very surprising 4-0 start. Now, granted, their schedule has been really weak, but I did not foresee Indiana, being 4-0 to start the season, man. They have one of the best offense in the nation, y'all. They're averaging 50.5 points per game, and they're running for 225 yards per game. And I think, y'all, Indiana has a lot of momentum. I know some people think this might be a letdown game for them because, a lot of people are starting to talk about Indiana now. They're 4-0. They have a new head coach, right? He brought in a lot of transfers when he was at James Madison. That's why they're off to this high start. So a lot of people are starting to put their attention on Indiana. But y'all, I think Indiana is focused. This is a veteran team. They are at home. That crowd is going to be rocking. I like Indiana to win this game 37-23. Maryland's secondary, y'all, is very, very, very questionable. I remember a couple of weeks ago when they played against Michigan State, and I thought they were going to win that game. And Michigan State's quarterback, Aiden Childs, he went to Maryland, y'all, and he just carved up that secondary. And I think Indiana's quarterback, Curtis Roke, y'all, he is a baller. He has not thrown an interception so far on this season. He's completing 75.5% of his passes. I have Indiana winning this game 37-23. It might be. I honestly could see Maryland maybe scoring like 30 points in this game. But I do think Indiana's going to force a interception, y'all, from Maryland's quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. So I have Indiana winning this game 37-23. All right, y'all. Next up, we have number 22 BYU going on the road to take on Baylor. And as I said earlier with Kansas State, y'all, I mean, they got upset. They got demolished by BYU, and BYU looks very good defensively, which they are normally a pretty solid team defensively, y'all, but they look even better right now. They're only allowing 12.8 points per game. So I really love this BYU team. Y'all love the way they're able to control the line of scrimmage. BYU, they're gonna play bully ball. You're looking at Baylor, y'all. I mean, Baylor's coming off a really tough loss last week against Colorado in the game, y'all, where they should have won it, but they allowed a Hail Mary at the end of the game. It was a great pass by Shedeur Sanders to LeJontay Wester, but still, it was totally unacceptable by Baylor's defense, y'all. And I do think Baylor's going to come out hungry. They're already 2-2. They don't want to fall to 2-3. But y'all just think, again, this BYU team, the physicality that they play with, man, that stuff travels, y'all. I know BYU, they're a really tough team to play at home, but I think they're just a tough team in general to play anywhere, y'all, because, again, when you're a team like BYU that plays so physical, you're really, stacked in your O-line and D-line, and you have a really solid quarterback that does not turn the ball over. I think that translates, y'all, to a lot of success. So I like BYU to win this game, a close game. But I like them to win it 24-20. All right, y'all. Next up, we have number 15. Number 15 Louisville. I almost said Ole Miss. Number 15 Louisville going on the road to take on number 16 Notre Dame, and this is a huge game, y'all. I mean, a very, very, very huge game. I think Louisville is very, very underrated, y'all. Their quarterback Tyler Shaw, man, this dude is really a beast, huh? Like, I didn't know how he was going to play last year. He was at Texas Tech. he was very up and down. But so far, y'all, he's been really, really doing his thing. He's completing 64% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, averaging 283.3 yards per game. And you look at Notre Dame's offense, y'all, and man, this offense is so bad. I think people are overrating Notre Dame's offense because what they did against Purdue 3 weeks ago. Y'all, Purdue's one of the worst teams in college football. Trust me, Notre Dame's offense is not going to consistently put up 30, 35, 40 points per game. Their quarterback, Riley Leonard, y'all listen, I actually like Riley Leonard. I liked him a lot last when he was at Duke. For whatever reason, I don't know what's going on with him right now. He's been one of the worst quarterbacks in college football. And I just don't think Notre Dame has the playmakers on the outside to keep up with Louisville, man. Louisville is so deep at wide receiver, y'all. And I cannot wait to see. Speaking of receiver, I cannot wait to see what their wide receiver, Jacory Brooks, does today, man. He already has 297 receiving yards through 3 games. I like Louisville, y'all, to go on the road and upset Notre Dame 27-22 again. I just do not trust Notre Dame's offense, particularly their passing offense. They can run the ball fairly well because they have a pretty solid offensive line, but their passing offense, y'all, is very, very, very weak. And I think, Riley Leonard is going to throw a couple of interceptions in this game. I think Louisville, because they have such an explosive offense, they're going to be able to take advantage of that. And again, I have Louisville upsetting Notre Dame 27-22. All right, y'all, moving on. We have, I think this might be one of the more underrated games today. Is we have Arkansas taking on Texas A&M, y'all. They will be playing this game at AT&T Stadium, which is home of the Dallas Cowboys. And y'all, this Arkansas team has really surprised me so far to start the year because we know Arkansas has one of the toughest schedules in college football. And they really should be 4-0 because they should have defeated Oklahoma State. I still cannot believe they did not win that game. They were up by like 14 points, y'all. And Oklahoma State really did not, move the ball that well in that game. And somehow Arkansas still allowed them to win that game. But I think this Arkansas team is better than what people give them credit for, y'all. Their quarterback, Taylor Green, man, he's a veteran. Now, he is interception prone. He already has 4 interceptions through 4 games. But, y'all, I think this is a game where he can really kind of get his name out there, announce to the world that he's a pretty solid quarterback. Because I think he is. When he's not turning the ball over, Taylor Green can absolutely, slice and dice up a defense, y'all. Now, this Texas A&M defense is pretty good. I give them credit. And their freshman quarterback, man, Marcel Reed, he's playing pretty well so far. Now, granted, the competition's been weak because he went against Bowling Green and Florida, but so far he looks pretty decent. And so I think, y'all, this game is really going to come down to Arkansas's offense being able to just make a little bit more plays than Texas A&M's offense. Arkansas, man, they have a running back by the name of Jaquindon Jackson, and this man has 8 touchdowns already through the season, running for 118 rushing yards per game. And so I think Arkansas, y'all, they're going to be able to control the clock. This is going to be a very low-scoring game, very defensive-minded game, but I like Arkansas to win this game 23-20. This is another one of my upsets, y'all. I'm telling you, I just like Arkansas right now, the way they've been playing offensively. And Texas A&M, I just don't trust them enough offensively to make enough plays. And then I think their offensive line is going to kind of struggle against a very good Arkansas defensive line. So I like Arkansas to win this game 23-20. All right, y'all. Next up, we have Colorado going on the road to take on UCF, man. I mean, Colorado, what a win that was last week, y'all. It looked like all hope was lost for them. And then, man, I mean, Shedeur Sanders, y'all, just makes something out of nothing. Finds LaJohntay Wester for the game time touchdown to send the game to overtime. Then obviously Colorado wins the game in overtime. And y'all, I think Colorado's defense is much improved. I know you're going to look at the stat sheet from last week and you're going to say, well, they gave up 31 points. Y'all, their defense did not give up 31 points. Their defense really only gave up 24 points, right? Because one of those touchdowns that Baylor got, it was a kick return touchdown. So I think this Colorado defense, y'all, is much improved. Now, let me admit, UCF, man, the way they run the football does scare me in this game for Colorado because Colorado, although they're improved defensively, especially in terms of run defense, UCF, y'all, has a number 1 rushing offense in college football, man. They average 375 rushing yards per game. And their quarterback, KJ Jefferson, oh my goodness, this dude's an absolute freak, man. He's like 6'3", 250 pounds, and he loves to just run in between the tackles. And their running back, RJ Harvey, he's probably one of the top running backs in the country, man. He's averaging 149 rushing yards per game. But, y'all, UCF has a very inconsistent passing offense, and they're going against a Colorado team that is one of the top passing offenses in the nation. Man, Colorado averages like 335 passing yards per game, and we know UCF has a very, very poor secondary. We saw what happened a couple of weeks ago when they went on road to take on TCU, and TCU in that game had over 440 passing yards, y'all. I think Shador Sanders, with the playmakers he has at his disposal, right? Jimmy Horn Jr., Travis Hunter, Will Shepard, LaJounte Wester. I have another upset game. Y'all have Colorado winning this game 34-31. I just think in the end, Shador and Travis, y'all, they're going to make a play to win the game for Colorado because they are, I think, the two best players in college football. All right, y'all, moving on. We have Wisconsin going on the road to take on USC. And I will keep this very short and sweet, y'all. USC, I still do not know how they allowed Michigan to run for the amount of yards they ran for. We all knew coming into that game last week, that's the only chance that Michigan had to win that game was to run the ball the way they did, y'all. Somehow USC could still not stop it. But today is going to be different. Wisconsin, y'all, I think Wisconsin is a really poor football team series. I don't have any confidence in Wisconsin. Their quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, cannot throw the ball more than 15, 20 yards down the field. Their running game is very inconsistent, y'all. And although Wisconsin's defense is pretty solid, I have them giving up 41 points in this game because I think they're going to be on the field a long time. So I think USC and Miller Moss, they have a bounce back game, y'all, in a major way. I have USC winning this game 41-17. All right, next up, we have UNC going on the road, take on Duke. And y'all, that was just a horrible performance last week by North Carolina's defense to allow 70 points to James Madison. Are you kidding me, man? I mean, that was just absolutely ridiculous, y'all. Now, I still like UNC's offense, man. I love their running back, Amarion Hampton. I think he's one of the top running backs in the country, y'all. But I have zero confidence in this defense going against a Duke offense that, although Duke's offense is not too explosive, they do have a three-headed monster, y'all. Quarterback Malik Murphy, that name sounds familiar. Last year, Malik Murphy's with Texas, y'all. So far, Malik Murphy's had a pretty solid year. For Duke's, their running back Star Thomas, he's a really good runner, man. He has a lot of speed to his game. And then their wide receiver Jordan Moore, he's averaging 85 yards per game. So again, I love the three-headed monster. They have a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver. I have Duke, y'all, winning this game 36-33. It will be a high-scoring game. Why? Because North Carolina, they can score again. Their running back, Amarion Hampton, he's one of the top running backs in the country. But I just don't trust their defense, y'all. And I think Duke this is probably going to be, come down to end of the game situation where Duke is down by 4 points. It'll probably be 33-29, and Duke is going to drive down the length of the field, score a touchdown, y'all. They're going to win the game. And I have Duke winning this game, and we went 5-0. Who would have thought Duke would have been 5-0? Crazy, right? All right, next up, y'all, we have the game of the day, man. I cannot wait for this game. We have number 2 Georgia Bulldogs going on the road, y'all, to take on number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide. And I mean, this is just going to be a phenomenal game to watch, y'all. You're talking about these two teams are so evenly matched. But y'all, I have Georgia winning this game 26-22. Because when I look at Alabama's offense, although Alabama has been able to generate a lot of explosive plays, y'all, they have really struggled just keeping drives alive, though. And I don't think they're going to be able to string up enough drives against a really stout Georgia defense to be able to win this game, y'all. That's why I only have Alabama scoring 22 points. Because, again, Jalen Milroe and Ron Williams, who's their freshman wide receiver, I mean, they've connected on so many, nice deep plays. But they're not going to do this against a Georgia defense, y'all. That's really been the way Alabama's been scoring touchdowns, right? Having 40, 50, 60-yard touchdowns. But when you're going against a defense like Georgia, man, you actually got to have long drives because they're going to make you drive the length of the field. I just don't trust Alabama to do that, y'all. I think Georgia has a bounce-back game offensively. Remember a couple of weeks ago against Kentucky in the game they should have lost. They only scored 13 points. People start wondering what's going on with Georgia's offense. Y'all, I think Kirby Smart is going to have them boys ready to go because he realized that this is a big game, probably even bigger game for them than it is Alabama, y'all, because Georgia's schedule is so tough. They still got to play Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Texas. So Kirby Smart knows if his team wants to have a shot to win a national championship, man, they have to win this game because it's only going to get even tougher for them because I think they're going to face better teams than Alabama. So I have to win this game 26-22. This is going to be a very close game, y'all. Kind of a low-scoring game. 48 total points in college football. Yeah, that's pretty low scoring. But I just trust Georgia, their ability to bounce back offensively, y'all. I think Carson Beck, he's going to have a really solid game. He'll probably throw for like 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. It won't be anything spectacular, but I think it will be enough to get the win, y'all. All right, next up, we have number 19 Illinois, y'all, going on the road to take on number 9 Penn State. And Illinois, y'all, listen, I had them losing last week. I thought they were going to lose by 10 points in Nebraska. They shocked me. They won. And man, Brett Bielema, y'all, I love the way he has these guys playing. They are much better offensively than they were a year ago. And their quarterback, Lou Altmaier, my goodness. I mean, he would be in the Heisman conversation right now, y'all. He's thrown 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And he's completing 71.4% of his passes. So this Illinois team, we need to start putting respect on their name. I'm really surprised that Penn State is favored by 18 points in this game because, y'all, I think this game is going to start out pretty close. And listen, Penn State is going to be a whiteout. We know Penn State at nighttime, especially when it's a whiteout game, that crowd is going to be rocking. But I think Illinois, y'all, because of their quarterback, Lou Altmaier, and because of their wide receiver, Pat Bryant, I think they're going to be able to make some plays on this Penn State defense. You know, Penn State at times this year, y'all, particularly in that game against Bowling Green, they look very shaky defensively. So I think, Illinois will be able to move the ball early on in this game. But, y'all, I think Penn State's defense is really going to get after it in the fourth quarter. I love their edge rusher, Abdul Carter. I think he's going to have a couple of sacks in this game, y'all. And Penn State's offense is much better, like much better than what it was last year. It seems like their quarterback, Drew Allen, y'all, he's more consistent now. Remember last year, he only completed like 59% of his passes. And I started to question, like, man, is this dude even, a good starting quarterback? This year, y'all, his completion percentage is way up because he's completed nearly 71% of his passes. So I think Penn State, because they have a better quarterback play, y'all, than their running backs, Nick Singleton, and Katron Allen, and they're going to control the line of scrimmage against a good Illinois defensive line. I had Penn State win this game by 2 touchdowns, y'all, 34-20. All right, y'all, next up, we have what I think is going to be probably the most entertaining game, y'all. I think Georgia and Alabama is going to be the best game, but I think this game right here is going to be the most entertaining game as we have Washington State going on the road to take on Boise State. And, y'all, this is going to be a very, very, very high-scoring game because these are two of the most explosive offenses in college football, man. You look at Washington State, y'all, they had a crazy game last week against San Jose State in the game that it took them double overtime to win, which really surprised me because I thought they were going to take care of business. I thought they were going to win that game by like 21 points. So maybe Washington State's defense is even worse than what I thought, y'all. But I just love that quarterback, John Mateer, man. I mean, this dude is a freaking monster. I mean, he's averaging 106 rushing yards per game and 275 passing yards per game. Now, the one area, y'all, that kind of gets him in trouble is his accuracy. He's only completing 54.3% of his passes. And now he's going on the road at night, y'all, in a very tough environment to play. Let me tell you something. Boise State is a very, very, very tough environment to play, y'all. They're ranked 2. Boise State's coming in number 25 in the AP poll. And their running back, Ashton Jeanty, y'all, I think he's the best running back in college football. I mean, this dude is just a freaking monster. He's averaging 10.5 yards per carry. Y'all, let me repeat. Ashton Jeanty is averaging 10.5 yards per carry. I mean, that is video game type numbers. Again, this is going to be a super high scoring game, but I think Boise State at home, they're going to prevail. Y'all, I think late in the game, John Mateer is going to throw an interception. That's going to seal the deal for Boise State. So I like Boise State to win this game 51-45. I'm telling y'all, if you really love offense, tune into this game, man. I cannot believe the over is only 65, y'all. They're going to go way over that 65-point mark. Again, I had this game going to be a very high scoring game. Excuse me. I have Boise State winning 51-45. All right, y'all. And last but finally not least, man, we have Arizona going on the road to take on number 10 Utah. And y'all, Utah had a very convincing win last week on the road against Oklahoma State. I know the final score will not reflect that, but trust me, y'all, I mean, Utah was in total control of that game from start to finish, and now they're at home. There's a chance that Cam Rising plays. I think he's not going to play. I think they're going to, roll with their freshman quarterback, Isaac Wilson. I think in a game like this, I would continue to let Cam Rising kind of heal up because they should be able to take care of business against Arizona. Y'all, Arizona, man, they haven't looked as great as I thought they would look offensively. Now, they have had a couple of weeks to, prepare for this game. They have not played since September 13th. But, y'all, I think Utah being at home, Utah has a very stout defense. Now, Utah's defense, you can kind of, pick them apart sometimes. But I think Utah, y'all, they're gonna just control the line of scrimmage, control the clock, which they should. They just need to run the football. Do not force their freshman quarterback Isaac Wilson to throw too much, y'all, because he does have 5 interceptions on the season. And that's why I think this game is gonna be pretty close, because I could see Isaac Wilson throwing an interception or two. But in the end, I think Utah's gonna be able to prevail because the run game and their defense. They ran for over 250 yards last week against Oklahoma State. I think they're gonna do that this week, y'all, against Arizona. I have them winning this game 31-20, man. So there y'all have it. That was my week 5 college football picks, man. Remember, y'all, laugh is good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm gonna end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.